Hello, everybody. This is Uncle Bruce coming to you with my best friend, Juvenal. How are you, Juvenal?
Hello, everybody. Hi, Bruce. I am very fine, and thanks to have me again in this show.
Well, you selected a very interesting topic, and I have thought a little bit about this, but now you have a company doing it. And that topic is about renting clothes when you travel. Instead of carrying all your clothes in the suitcase, you rent
Exactly.
the majority of your clothes at the destination you're going to. So this is being done by a company in coordination with Japan Airlines. I noticed in the article that you selected.
Yeah. It's an article of BBC, and the title is "Our Luggage Free Trips with the Future." So the point is, in order to reduce the carbon footprint of travelers, because this is a other interesting thing. There are a lot of cities around the world, touristic cities, that is facing some problems with the crowd of travelers.
Mm-hmm.
This is an issue, okay, for them. And in this case, it's about the how can I say, the huge amount of luggage that travelers carry with them to anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a big problem,
Well, I remember traveling from the United States to Brazil and back, both ways. You had the ability to carry two bags, two pieces of luggage with 70 pounds. I think that's like 30 kilos or something like that. It's like, or 32 kilos. It's like, wow, man, that's cool. Because I would buy a bunch of stuff in the United States and carry it back because, to find things in the United States is easy for me on Amazon, Walmart, whatever. You buy it there, you send it to wherever you're staying, like a family's house or friend's house, and you just put in your suitcase and bring it back. And 70 pounds is a lot.
A lot.
I remember one of my suitcases exploded, basically. It fell apart. But the airlines paid me for a new suitcase. I said, okay, I like this idea. So,
and this is something that Brazilian travelers love to do,
It was a cheap suitcase, but I got a brand new nice suitcase out of the deal. So, it wasn't really fair. But okay, let's go on to this next up. But renting your things, your clothing and stuff at the future destination is something I thought about, especially when you travel to like a ski resort and you're going to go snow skiing. That's a lot of stuff to carry, man. They have what they call a ski suit. It's very thick material to keep you warm. You rent your boots, but like professional people, they have their boots, they carry their boots, and that's not something you normally rent, or you would even rent at a future destination if you're a professional. But if you're just a novice, an amateur, then you can just rent, which is what I do. I rent the skis, I rent the boots, the ski poles. You have a package. You rent a package of material and equipment. And so you don't need to carry everything, but you normally carry your clothing. So here, this idea with Japan Airlines and with this other company that we're going to talk about, they're doing everything in a different way. And I think it's marvelous. I have some students in Goal Airlines, and I'm going to talk to them this Friday. I have a class with them on Friday. I'm going to talk to them about this idea and tell them, hey, you got another airlines with an innovative idea, and they're going to really start to move the market in the area of renting your clothing at the future destination. So they need to consider that. All the airlines need to do the same thing now. Japan Airlines is leading the way.
Exactly. I think, from my point of view, if you will spend all the time you are visiting some cities, for example, you are gonna spend all time in Tokyo, for example, I think it's quite useful to to use this service.
Yes.
But if you are traveling through another countries or even cities within the same country, maybe it's not useful. But
no, I think it is useful. I think it is useful because if you're in the country, then you're going to travel by bus, by train. I mean, in Japan, you're going to travel by bullet train. When I went to Japan, I went to Japan about 5 years ago. And when I went there, I was expecting to find like 2 bullet trains, that you have 2 trains traveling back and forth from Tokyo to another place. Dude, there was like 70 bullet trains traveling all over the place. I said, what? I mean, and I think, when I was going there, I thought about the infrastructure of Brazil. And I thought about the fact that we don't have one bullet train. In the United States, they have, I think, some, but it's not the same and equal to Japan and Europe. Europe has bullet trains too. And I think China, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure. But when I was in Japan, I'm thinking about Brazil, and I'm looking at the infrastructure of Japan, and I'm thinking, wow, if the politicians were not stealing from us, the public, we could have bullet trains between Sao Paulo and Rio at a minimum, have 4 different bullet trains that are traveling throughout the day each way. I mean, right now, the best way to travel is by air. By air.
Sure. Well noted. And, I think beyond that, the issues about, the carbon footprint, the sustainability thing that is very sensible for us nowadays. And the point is the textile industry pollution. If you start to use or even better, the travelers start to use this kind of service, and maybe the mentality or the mindset of people change a little in terms of why buy so clothes.
So many clothes, yes.
So many, yes, and sometimes you don't use all of them.
Dude, I need to get rid of some of my clothes. I have too many clothes. I admit to that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. I read some time ago an article about Patagonia. I don't know if you heard that this name of company, Patagonia. Patagonia is in the past was the favorite clothing manufacturer of Wall Street guys because of the jackets. In general, this is an industry that produce winter clothes.
Okay.
For skis and other stuff. So
I know some other brands. One is North Face and another is Columbia.
Yes, it's another. Yeah, it's another.
But there are many good brands of clothing.
Yes, and Patagonia started an initiative in order to reduce the production of new clothes, promoting between their consumers to start to repair, their clothes, to repair in their store network, or even make a donation to other people, and just to avoid to produce new clothes, because it's quite how can I say, polluted.
Yeah, it creates a lot of pollution.
Exactly. So that's the point. So I think there are a lot of good ideas in this initiative of Japan, and there are other countries as well.
Yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the article real quick. I'm gonna share my screen, and show the people what we're looking at here. So let me do that here in just a second. Here we go. Okay, so here we have the article from BBC. It's called "Are Luggage Free Trips the Future?" And that was a very, very interesting article. And inside the article, this is just yesterday's. Say it's fresh off the press. Okay, that's the expression we use when it's new in the newspaper or the magazine. It's fresh off the press. So it's only one day old, this article. And it's focused on Japan and travel in Japan. And so I did look at the links. There's one here. It says anywhere, anywhere, which is a play on words, we say. And so I want to share that real quick. And so this is where that link led me. It's with Japan Airlines. And so it's talking about, this possibility of coordinating with a company that they are in association with to rent clothing. And so it's explaining here that you can go to this company, you can rent the clothing, monitor your check-in and all that. And you have delivery of the rental clothing to your hotel, which is very nice. And then they will reuse the clothing with other people in the future, and then they will clean it and everything else. And then this is the website here with this company called Anywhere, Anywhere. A very nice expression of English.
Yeah.
To say anywhere, which is any clothing you can wear anywhere, any place. So very interesting. They did a good job of putting this all together. And so, they're explaining the details. They have lots of FAQs, frequently asked questions on the website here. So I just really thought this is an interesting idea to talk about in our podcast
for sure.
today. So very nice selection of topic here. I'm going to stop sharing here and we'll get back to our discussion. Okay, stop sharing. So
anyway, it's a very innovative, amazing.
Yeah, innovative, very innovative, very.
Yeah.
It's like this is the kind of technology in innovation that really it started out as a cottage industry, which is like a mom and pop shop. Somebody started doing this, and it's like, okay, we're going to try it, and they tried it. And it's like, oh wow! And then they found angel investors, the people that will like to invest their money and say, hey, that's a great idea. Let me give you $2 million, or in that case, yen. The Japanese currency, and let's do something with this. And so then they started coordinating with Japan Airlines, and now it's off the ground and it's going. So I believe this is going to be a very good technology that people are going to start using. This innovation of using this method of transporting your clothes is in the past with many people. I know that I will not use somebody else's underwear. Okay, I'm going to bring my own underwear. Okay.
Yeah.
But between my wife and I can put our clothing in one bag. And so instead of carrying 2 bags each, we can go down to 1 bag between the 2 of us. So that's very, very good. Very good. And if you have special things like you have your computer, but of course that goes in your carry-on bag. That goes in your carry-on stuff. So many people are going to say, hey, I don't need to carry a bunch of stuff. Just let me carry a personal item. That's a carry-on too. It's like a backpack or something. And then a regular carry-on, which is a little suitcase. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I normally do. I carry those 2, which are my carry-ons, although you're only permitted 1. Eventually that's going to change. They're going to say, okay, guys, you can't carry another big item. You can carry a purse. And then the wife or the woman's going to say, yeah, well, my purse is a big purse. Okay. No, that's just the way life is. You say you can carry a purse. It's a personal item. Well, some ladies have a big purse, and that's just the way it is for them every day. It's not like that when they're traveling. No, that's their everyday purse. So you can't discriminate against the ladies with the big purse. And so if you can't discriminate against them, you can't discriminate against me as a man carrying a little backpack. Okay.
Yeah. But man, I love it, this idea. I love it.
So let's find out how we can invest. We can be investors, man, in Brazil.
Exactly.
Let's start it in Brazil.
Exactly. in despite of to change the mindset of Brazilian travelers, I think it will be a little hard because as a guy that mentioned in the article, people used to think like, okay, I have the limit to carry with me 12 kilos. So I want 12 kilos.
Right.
And sometimes, I think not sometimes, but in the most of times, it's not necessary. That's the point.
You know what? They may start doing this. They may say, you can have a carry-on bag, or maybe two, whatever. But then your other one that you want to carry, you have different prices for different weights of bags. If you have your bag less than, let's say, 15 kilos, it's going to be one price. If you have more, like 23, I think is the normal, which is 50 pounds, well, 23 kilos. If you have that one, that's going to cost you this price. If you have more than that, okay, big price. Or if you have two, big price. Something like that.
Yes. And there is another interesting thing in the article about some cities that the locals are complain about the sound, the noise of wheeled bags. You know, bags with
with wheels.
Some wheels. Yeah.
They're a little noisy sometimes going down the corridor of the airlines, the terminals. They're a little noisy, but what else can you do?
I can say it's very noisy because I had this experience in Venice,
Italy.
Yeah. And imagine in that historic streets, so
that's crazy to try and carry your bags in there. But what else can you do if you're traveling and staying in a hotel in Venice? You have to go over all these little bridges and go down narrow pathways to get there with your bags. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. And imagine that nowadays, if I have the opportunity to go back there to visit Italy again, if this service exists in Europe, I wouldn't carry a lot of clothes with me. So
when I went to Venice different times. So the last time I went, we stayed in a chateau. A beautiful chateau, a nice place. It was very reasonable because I found it on, I think, booking.com or hotels.com. It was a good price and it was very close to Venice, the city. So it was not very long to get to Venice. So I don't know.
Nice.
To carry my bags to a hotel inside of Venice. Ooh, let me rent a gondola.
Exactly.
At the beginning of the whole place, man, that's a long way. Because some of those places, I mean, to go to, I think it's called St. Mark's Square. It's a long way down to get in there from the entrance. It's a long way, man.
Exactly. So in this case, I will keep some space in my, in my luggage. That's just to fulfill with wines. Toscana.
That's a whole different story, right there.
Brunello di Montalcino and other stuff,
Yeah. Well, the article, it caught my attention because I was thinking about how I thought about this idea similar to renting, ski equipment. Because I have, from Michigan, I have a lot of winter clothing still. And I still need to get rid of some things. But you can rent a lot of coats, gloves, hats, a lot of things rather than carry them on the plane, in your luggage. So I thought about that. I said, wow, this is such a pain in the rear, It's such a pain to carry my coats, all my things when I go to Michigan, my state, to see my family in the winter. You have to have good clothes. I mean, I can always use my brother's clothes. My wife could use my sister-in-law's clothes. But when you don't have family there and you're just going to go like to Japan, you want to go skiing in Japan or go skiing in Argentina. What is the name of that place? It begins with a B or something like that. I don't know, Balusha or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
yeah.
If you're gonna go down there, you're gonna have to take the clothes with you or buy them when you're there. So I think it's a great idea to do exactly that. Rent clothing in the future destination, especially specialty clothing, like winter clothes for skiing. I think it's a great idea.
Yes, for sure.
But of course, you have to find your sizes. I can tell you, in Japan, they have different body sizes. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to have clothing that fits your body too. Their bodies are different. The average Japanese is different than the average European and even Brazilian. They have a different body, I won't say style, but just different body form. Okay. And so you have to make sure that the people in Japan understand my body size. I can tell you the size in American sizes. Okay. You have to have my size. I don't want to wear something that's too small, which is most likely it's going to be the case.
Exactly.
Their bodies are smaller.
Exactly.
So that's the only thing. You have to find something that's going to fit you. And of course, you don't want to rent something that has stains on it or something like that. So they have to make sure that when they're trying to rent you something, that it's like brand new or maybe like almost new. It has to look good, feel good, and, has to have no stains.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, a good point. Good point, because I am imagining now. So my height is 6.0 feet. So
yeah. So you're how much, about 187 or something like that in centimeters?
Yeah, something like in metros is something 1.994.
1.94. Yeah.
Yeah, almost 2 meters. So imagine.
So that's pretty interesting that you're that tall. A lot of Brazilians are not real tall. You're tall for a Brazilian.
I think the new generation, so the young guys from 2000 and from 2000 up to today is more taller.
They are taller.
They are taller.
Well, I remember meeting a volleyball player in the airport recently. He was very tall, man. He was on the Brazilian team. And so we had a young lady with us, and she got a picture with him. And she was so short compared to him. It was funny. And she's not a short lady, but he was so tall, man.
Yes. I remember when I was a kid in the fundamental school, I was the only one that was taller than others. So
you were probably taller than the teachers.
Yeah, I felt like an ET beyond between the other guys.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a consideration with the clothing, is that they have to make sure that if you tell them I'm American, this is my size in American sizes, make sure I have that size of clothing when I get your destination, and make sure that I have a selection. Okay, I don't want to just wear something. No, I want to wear some Levi jeans or some Calvin Klein jeans, okay, something like that. Yeah. And so I'm sure you're going to have different price levels too when you want to wear like Louis Vuitton, okay? And then you're going to pay Louis Vuitton price, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, you have to have a selection too. Colors, style, design. So it's a big thing to have that many sizes in each men and women's clothing from a certain designer, like Levi's. Remember, it's not Levi's in Portuguese; it's Levi's jeans. Okay, it's Levi's.
Levi's.
Yes. So when they have the correct thing that you want, you can see it in advance. I think it's a great idea, and I think that this is really something think about it. People traveling from the United States from a northern climate, my state of Michigan. Yes, they have clothing for summer, but when they get down here, they may want a hat, okay? A type of hat to wear. And so they can always buy a hat, but they may want to just rent a hat, a special type of hat, you know? So I think there are many possibilities down here, many in Brazil for people coming from other countries, coming to Brazil. And of course, when you go like paddle boarding, they usually always have the life vest, you know. I don't remember what it's called in Portuguese, but it's the thing that keeps you supported in buoyant in the water. So they have that normally when you rent a paddle board or a canoe or kayak. But still, there are some things in Brazil that you're going to probably want to rent if you can. So I think it's a great idea. Great idea.
Yeah, great idea. But as you said, it's another. They will creating a new industry because all of that is tailor-made.
Yes.
So
yes, I agree.
A great volume of work.
Yes, it's a lot of research that they had to do. So I'm sure they've got a lot already going on, but I'm sure that they're like English Brazil. They're always changing to get a good solution for their clients, their members, you know? And so we are always changing. I say that we are like a laboratory, always trying to find the next solution, you know, to help somebody with their English. And so it's the same thing with that type of industry there. They're starting, but they don't have to evolve. They'll have to modify and change as they learn more about their clients, about the needs and necessities and the desires of their clients. So it's just the way it goes. But I think they've got a good idea. And I think that it's something that the airline industry in Brazil definitely needs to take a note of. They need to see what's going on and understand how can they implement something similar in Brazil for their clients and reduce the carbon footprint, okay, of using so much fuel to transport all these clothes and other things. You can rent a lot of things in Brazil. It's not only clothes. I have a nice camera. It's a Nikon camera. It's a possibility you could rent your camera with certain lenses. Okay, you rent this lens, and of course you have to have a good deposit on your credit card. You have to, you know, have like $1,000, $2,000 deposit on the camera, but you don't need to bring all your camera equipment because you can rent the equipment here in Brazil. That's just another idea. So that's another thing we need to talk to them about.
Exactly. Well noted.
So, you know, this is something that's going to snowball. We say it's going to snowball. It's going to keep on getting bigger. I'm sure of it. It's going to work well, and people are going to really start using this idea. And, you know, we can watch it over the next year and see how it develops. But I think that Brazilian Airlines definitely need to look at this carefully. And I'm sure they are. I mean, they are always understanding what's happening around the world with the different airlines. But I'm going to talk to my students, and they're in this part of the company with new products. So I'm going to talk to them and let them know, hey, you need to look at this very seriously.
Sure.
So guys, listen, we do need to stop for today. We appreciate you coming to join us today and to listen and to watch the video if you're watching a video. But we thank you so much, and we look forward to talking to you again. So my name is Uncle Bruce and
Juvenile.
So we thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.